That's right. Once again, live from the lab, CP3 coming to you live, talking Thursday night football, boxing, and Redskins preview for the Redskins Giants game upcoming Sunday at 1 o'clock for the Redskins to remain in the division lead first place with a 3-2 record, looking to improve to 4-2. How we are doing tonight? We got a full show ahead. We got Paul, the boxing guy, already on the line, ready to talk boxing. We got Capitals pregame, get ready to drop the puck in about 5-10 minutes. We got the Houston versus Miami Thursday night football game. We're gonna give you updates on throughout the night. It's just so much going on. I love this time of year. Got the World Series going on. They're taking a break for the night on their way to the West Coast to pick up the series. Boston's up 2-0, which I must admit I am rooting for Boston because I don't want the Dodgers to win because they're in the National League and I want the Nationals to win. So if you're not the Nationals in the World Series, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be rooting against you. That's just the way it is because it's DC sports without the politics. That's how we do around here. But as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in on this busy Thursday night. Appreciate you checking us out. I already got the Facebook live stream going already. So any questions, comments, make sure you check us out and give your input. Any questions or comments, we will pass along to Paul, the boxing guy, because he is our resident expert on everything boxing. But please go check out our Sports on the Hill podcast page. We put out a lot of good content and a lot of highlights and good shows. So make sure you go check us out, like our page, share us. We're over 1,270 likes. We're trying to get to 1,300 by the end of the year. So come on, people. Pass it around. Let the folks know it's some real DC sports media out here because that's what we do. That's why we do it. Because these folks that's supposed to be doing it, not doing it. So that's why we started Sports on the Hill podcast. And that's why we do what we do on a week in and week out basis on True Radio Network. And if you're not watching the Facebook live stream, you can always call in on the True Radio Network hotline, 347-884-9299. I'm trying to figure out this thing. Okay, there we go. My computer's acting a little funny, which it always does if you've been listening to the show. You know me and my computer are having a love-hate relationship for about 2-3 months now. Bear with me. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in Paul, the boxing guy. We're going to talk a little football to start off. But my man, Paul, he's a, aficionado of all things sports. He might not act like he knows football, but Paul knows football. So we're going to bring him in when we do the tail of the tape of this Redskins Giants matchup real quick before we get into boxing. Paul, how you doing tonight, good sir?
Carol, my brother, I'm doing good, man. You can't be giving up my secret, man. I be trying to lay low.
Hey, man, you be putting me out there on the boxing stuff. I be trying to lay low, and you be putting me out there, man. Hey, what's good for me is good for you, baby.
Hey, I was talking you up this past week with the way you handled that conversation on Facebook about why Floyd won't come back and fight Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So you definitely got some boxing knowledge in your head, for sure.
Oh, no doubt. I was a Mike Tyson fan, and Don King was the king of promotion, and everything he did was a calculated move and did it for a reason. It might not have benefited his fighter, but it damn sure benefited him. So you got to look at all the undertones and look at, you brought me into the loop with Wilder because you basically called the whole thing with Joshua. I thought he was going to, all of that talk, he was going to back it up and actually want to fight the dude, but he's doing a lot of talking. Joshua had fought, 2 fights? Since that whole thing went down and he still ain't fought one. So each and every week and each and every day, man, that Tyson Fury fight, I don't know. The way you, I haven't really checked him out, but the way you and EJ talk about him, I think Wilder might have his hands full.
Yeah, he definitely will. When Fury gets more and more in shape every day. So I think he's in even better shape than he was. But we'll save that breakdown for a later edition.
No doubt. We get a little ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and get into the Redskins Giants preview going into week 8. My bad. We just started week 8 now with the Houston-Miami game, which Houston just tied the score up. Is now 7-7. I believe it's still first quarter. The Cats have yet to drop the puck yet. But let's get into the tail of the tape of these two teams. I took a couple of notes, just to look at it, because for some reason the Giants always give the Redskins a tough time, no matter how bad they're playing, no matter how good the Redskins are playing. The Giants find a way to beat them, especially in New York. So, looking at the numbers, starting at the quarterback, you always got to start with the quarterback. Alex Smith, he has 1,300 yards. Let me get my notes in front of me. 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and has been sacked 13 times. Eli, and there's also his completion percentage is 63.3%. Eli, on the other hand, has over 2,000 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he's been sacked 24 times, but he has a 69% completion percentage, which is, admirable because they do have talented wide receivers. So he's getting them the ball, even though they do have a 1-6 record. But they've been in all the games that they went out there to play. They just haven't put it together because the offense is it is what it is. We were just talking about Eli, who we all can agree is probably a year past him being starting quarterback, or at least having somebody on his heels to push him. But he's looked out of sorts. He's looked like he's already retired for real. But I got to give the advantage to the Redskins on this. Alex Smith has been playing good ball. He hasn't been turning the ball over. He's been moving the offense. It's been a little inconsistent in the second half, which we know, with no third quarter touchdowns. But I got to give that man to Alex Smith. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I gotta get it. And man, it's Alex Smith too. Thinking about Eli, I'm gonna kind of go around the world from this comment right here, but looking at the Steelers right now with Le'Veon Bell sitting out, Antonio Brown had an issue a few years ago. The Steelers typically play hardball, right? And the Steelers have let go some players, right? It seems like in their prime, like Plaxico Bird, I'm forgetting the receiver's name a few years ago. They get a lot of criticism, but it works. The reason I say that is because Eli Manning right now is what it looks like when a team seems to wait too long to decide to make a move on one of their players. It's always better to be seemingly a year early than being a year too late. And I think the Giants probably should have either tried to groom Eli's replacement 2 years ago when they let go of Coughlin, or they should already have been trying to move on from Eli because, man, that dude, I'm an Eli fan. I'm a kid fan, but I've always supported Eli reform. I don't want to win, but, I kind of defend him when people criticize him when he was, winning pretty frequently and having those 5,000-yard seasons. But, frankly, I think he's about a couple years done. I think he should be relegated to bench duty or backup duty now. So the Giants are a mess. But, like you said a minute ago, Carol, you never know what's going to happen in these Redskins-Giants games. So he can turn around and throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns on Sunday, for all we know.
Hey, we've seen it happen before. Definitely seen it happen before. Getting to the offensive line, like I said, Eli's been sacked over 24 times. Alex has been sacked only 13 since LaValle has gotten back to the lineup. The line has definitely played better with Adrian Peterson going off for 99 and 96 yards, respectively, back-to-back. The Giants' offensive line is horrible, might as well just say it. Besides the running back is the known bright spot. He makes a lot of moves and makes people miss, and he's so quick and fast that he gets out the backfield before the defense can even penetrate to catch him back there. So I got to give the edge to the Redskins on the offensive line also. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I got to agree. Eli getting hit left and right. And he's been getting hit so frequently over the last couple of years that, I'm almost willing to say that some of Eli's issues, sometimes how he even seems to rush passes when he has time, I kind of think that may have something to do with it, sort of like what we had Jason Campbell's issues when he was seemingly just sit pressure that wasn't there and rush passes because he was always getting hit. So I definitely got to give the advantage to the Redskins offensive line. The sheer amount of sacks Eli has suffered as well as pressures and knockdowns as well. So I think the Skins got the edge in that offensive line area as well.
Yes, got to agree. As I said, Houston just went up in the Miami game 14-7. It's actually the second quarter now. J.J. Watt is already having himself a night. He got 2 tackles, a sack, 1 tackle for loss. So he's giving the Dolphins right tackle fits already, and they're not giving him no help so far. So it's going to be a long night for that right tackle. Now getting to the running backs, who we already alluded to, the Giants rookie running back who's putting up stellar numbers. He's had over 100 yards of scrimmage in 6 of the 7 games. I believe last week was the first game he was held under 100, but I believe he had like 98. So he's definitely dynamic. They still question should they draft a quarterback or draft a running back. They're going to question that for years to come, the way this season looks for them so far. But on the Redskins side, you got Adrian Peterson leading the team with 101 attempts, 430 yards with 3 touchdowns. He has a 4.3 yard average. Chris Thompson is the next closest running back. He has 23 attempts with 100 yards and 4.4 yard average. Then you got Saquon Barkley for the Giants with 98 attempts and 481 yards and 5 touchdowns. And the next person that's behind him is Will Gallman Jr. He has 14 attempts for 45 yards with a 3.5 yard average. With the running back situation, just on the talent alone, not looking about going into Redskins defense, I got to give the advantage to Barkley because he's so dynamic, catching the ball out the backfield, making people miss, getting in space and making folks look foolish, hurdling folks. AP is doing a hell of a job, not taking nothing away from him. He's going to pound away as long as Jay feed him the ball, and he's going to get close to 100, if not 100. But for the dynamic playmaker, I got to go with the Giants for the advantage of running back. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I would say that if you look at on paper, if you look at the entire personnel at running back, you got to say the Redskins in terms of depth. But Saquon Barkley is one man that can do what Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson do for the Redskins. Meaning, Adrian Peterson had a couple good games with receiving. You know, it's not typically his forte, but he's comfortable on the backfield fairly well for AP, but he runs that ball hard. Meanwhile, Chris Thompson, that guy is a specialist out in the backfield catching passes. Saquon Barkley has both of those aspects of his game. So he's dynamic. He runs hard, good vision, good speed, good power. I mean, good hands. He's the future. You know, he's one of the top running backs of the future. So we definitely got to go with the Giants and Barkley with the edge at running back.
Yeah, got to give him the edge in that. Also, the Cats game dropped the puck a little while ago. It's 17 minutes left in the first, 0-0. They're playing in Edmonton. It's still 14-7 Texans over the Dolphins, but the Dolphins punting right now for their 29. And get to the wide receivers. For the Redskins, we know that's been a huge question mark. That's been something that's been missing besides the consistency as wide receivers stepping up, making plays, getting separation, forcing defenses to respect them, which they haven't done to this point in the season. You got Paul Richardson not leading the team, but leading the wide receivers with 16 receptions for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has a 13.2 yard reception average. Jamison Crowder has 11 catches, 134 yards with a touchdown with a 10.3 yard average. Also have Josh Doxson with 11 catches, 110 yards, no touchdowns, but he has a 22 yard catch average. And Chris Thompson, running back, is actually leading the team in receptions and hasn't played as often as these other guys. He has 26 receptions for 200 yards and a touchdown with a 7.7 yard average. Now, we already mentioned how dynamic the Giants wide receivers are. You know, they got the big contract, OBJ. He's leading the team, of course, with 53 receptions for 649 yards, 2 touchdowns with a 12.2 yard average, and also has a perfect quarterback rating with a 50-yard touchdown pass to Barkley, I believe, in week 1 or 2. So he has a touchdown throwing the ball also. Then you have Sterling Shepard, who is a young and up-and-coming wide receiver. I don't like the Giants, but he plays some good ball. He runs good routes. He's a tough wide receiver, just like all the old school Giants tough wide receivers, not like OBJ. I'm not talking about him. But he has 36 receptions for 508 yards and 2 touchdowns with a 14-yard average. And Barkley, as I mentioned, he has 49 receptions for 424 yards and 2 touchdowns with an 8.6 yard receiving average. I guess it's going to be 2 in a row for the Giants, where I got to give them the advantage. If Eli can get them the ball, the wide receivers definitely can make something happen if they get into space, and if the Redskins defensive backs have blown coverage mistakes like we've seen throughout this season. We saw it last week in the win. We saw it in the week before in the win, and I guess it's a trend. But if it happens again, hopefully it'll be in a win. But I'm looking forward to seeing on the injury report if Richardson's going to play, if Crowder's going to play. So even definitely with them being out or questionable, you got to give the advantage to the Giants. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm giving it to the Giants too. One thing that's irritated me about this team over the last few years is I always felt that they've made getting offensive playmakers, especially the wide receiver position, kind of a secondary thing. Obviously we're going to get into the defense in a minute, and the draft picks of early rounds have definitely started to show dividends now. However, though, I still feel as though that they decide to address trying to bring in playmaker wide receivers through the draft a little too late. I know they brought in Richardson in off season from Seattle. I wasn't big on that move because I felt like it was a potential Brandon Lloyd type of move where you get a guy who you think is getting ready to break out, but they don't. So, it is what it is. Ultimately, they're 4-2, and I'm happy that Jay, who I criticize a lot, seems to be not trying to throw the ball 50 times a game as much as he would in the past, and is actually realizing, hey, I got a dog in the backfield. Let me at least try to make up some of these deficiencies. But I do think they can do a better job at spreading that ball around and getting a little more creative with the lack of playmakers that they do have. So I'm giving it to the Giants as well.
Paul, and all the times I've done the show and had Jay have a good game plan, whenever I give him credit and say something like you just said, he does the exact opposite that following Sunday. So I'm hoping by you saying it, it breaks the trend, because whenever I give him credit and say that, it's like he hears me, he's like, oh, nah, you ain't win. I'm about to go back and throw the ball 50 times. So I'm hoping.
I hope I didn't jinx it.
Yeah, I hope so too. But they know what they got to do, and we'll talk about the Giants defense shortly after we go over the tight end. But Jay has improved in the last few weeks with his pay card. I'm not going to give him, an A, but he definitely has improved. The execution hasn't been there. Folks were complaining about his red zone play calls last week, but the plays were open. They just didn't execute. So we're going to see what it brings. Hopefully he does continue the somewhat trend of sticking with the run. Sometimes he still gets a little pass happy, in my opinion, when you should be grinding the ball out, especially in the red zone. But like I say, he's not perfect. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for victories. They got 2 in a row, looking to get 3. 2 division wins would be huge. They only won 1 division game all of last year. So if they can win 2 already and go 2 for 2, that definitely shows progression and growth, which is what you ask for and what you want. Now getting to the tight ends, you got Jordan Reed, who has been inconsistent. He's been made some plays, made some catches, but with his talent, you want to see more out of him. But with the wide receivers not getting the respect from the defense and not stepping up, they've been double covering him pretty much. That's why Vernon Davis has been getting the explosive plays as more than Jordan has. But when you have that talent, Alex has to gain that trust, like you saw with him with Dotson in the last game, throwing that slant route, trusting that he will be there and get the ball and not get turned over. He has to build that rapport with Jordan also. Remember, it's only week 8, and Alex is new to the offense and still trying to gain chemistry. So I'm not saying that Jordan is having a bad year, isn't doing his job. It's going to take time, and folks are, like I say, double covering him. So hopefully we can get the wide receivers back healthy and get some dynamic plays down the field, so the defense has to respect the wide receivers and not double cover Jordan, and then he can start getting loose. But looking at his numbers, he has 22 catches for 268 yards, a touchdown, and 1 touchdown with a 12.2 yard reception average. And Vernon Davis is second with 9 receptions for 149 yards, a touchdown with a 16.6 yard reception average. The Giants have 2 tight ends also that are prominent in the passing game. They have Rhett Ellison, who has 13 receptions, 112 yards and a touchdown with a 9 yard average. And he has Evan Ingram. He was I remember when they drafted him, they were saying that he would be a big playmaker for them. He hasn't really panned out. He has 12 catches and for 112 yards and a touchdown. 120 yards and a touchdown. He has a 10-yard average. Definitely got to give the advantage to the Redskins, especially Jay's playbook, the way he runs everything through the tight ends, and hopefully they can get some play action game going with the running game working the way it has, and can get Jordan open to some dynamic plays. He's normally had some good games against the Giants, being a division rival, playing them twice a year. And Vernon and Alex, they showed the chemistry they had from when they was playing back in their old 49er days. But I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I hope they use the 3 tight end set more for Sprinkle. He's their best blocker, but he also does have hands and he can catch the ball also. You know my documented love of the 2-3 tight end set, and it's the best formation for this team. I believe you can run, throw, and play action pass out of it. But for some reason, Jay doesn't like to use that. He has the last 2 weeks, which I applaud, but sometimes he goes away from. He loves that 3 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 tight end set. I love it too, but you can't run out of it consistently because the defense is going to kill the tight end on the end and the wide receiver with the outside linebackers crashing down. I know that. The defense knows that. Jay knows that. But he still calls those plays. But, like I say, I give the advantage to the Redskins. What about you, Paul?
I was thinking the same thing about the tight ends, especially going into this season. I wanted to see more 2 and 3 tight end sets with Jordan Reed, with given his injury history and his not exactly stellar run blocking, pass blocking either. Run blocking, for a tight end. If you want a tight end that can help, complement the running game. So I wanted to see a lot of 2 tight ends, especially with Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, and Jeremy Sprinkle. The Sprinkle's big boy. He's primarily a blocking tight end, but he can catch you, like you said. Davis, he's still explosive, and also, I agree with you as well how Alex Smith has developed a better rapport, especially with guys like Jordan Reed, because, maybe Jay needs to go back and look because historically, Alex Smith and his tight ends have been, gone hand in hand. Look at him in San Fran with Vernon Davis. Look at him in Kansas City with Travis Kelce. So I was expecting a lot more out of Jordan Reed and Alex Smith this season. I'm hoping that it picks up as they get more familiar with each other, but I definitely think that those 2 or 3 tight ends sets need to be utilized a lot more because I can only imagine if a guy like Joe Gibbs is still coaching and the way he likes to load it up, so those power formations. I guarantee you he would have had all 3 of those boys out there.
Oh, he would have had them out there all the time. They just stayed in 3 tight end set the whole damn game and all the way up and down the field, calling the same plays until
he should have had 40 rushes a game.
Tell everybody, just stop me. I'm gonna keep calling it, and you got to stop it. But appreciate you folks chiming in. Monique, appreciate it. Marquise, Erica, appreciate it, babe. Robbie, appreciate you chiming in. He had a comment. He said he just hate letdown games, trap games in New Jersey. Never seems to work well for the Skins. A preseason almost. All of us picked this to be a loss, and the Giants have been close. They're on the wrong side of close games, so y'all do to a winning close games. The opposite could be true for the Skins. I hope I'm wrong. You can get a 3-game win streak, but he's nervous. Hey, man. I agree, Robbie. There's always a trap game for the Redskins. I already said how the Giants always find a way to beat the Skins no matter how bad they're playing, no matter how good the Skins are playing, especially in New York / New Jersey. So it's this is definitely going to be a telling tale of this team. And I ain't even going to say I was having a debate. I had this idiot in one of the Facebook groups. I'm going to call it an idiot. Normally I don't call folks out. But this dude was trying to beat me down about trying to blame the front office and complaining about the win against Dallas, saying that, the defense is overrated. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? These 2 games that they just won against Carolina and Dallas, they would have lost last year. So you have to see the progression of what's going on. There might not be pretty wins, but as I've said over and over again, I will take an ugly loss over a pretty win any day. So it's a team game. It's not about one person. It's not about one side of the ball. It's a team game. The team has found a way to win. Special teams, offense, and defense. Now, it's all on how you look at it. You can look at it as the team, the games have been too close. You know, they shouldn't have let teams back in it. The other team gets paid too. They have plays that they call to counter what Redskins do. It's a chess match. It's not just about going out and line up and people just beating each other on the field and just trying to get to the end zone. There's strategy behind what they're doing. So just relax. The chemistry is building. The team is moving in the right direction. They're in first place in 4-2. Who would have had them in 4-2 right now? So Redskin Nation, calm down, breathe, relax. Go pop a Percocet or whatever you need to pop. Just chill. And don't come at me in these groups that you think you run. Don't do it. It will turn out ugly for you, as you can attest to the dude that wanted to jump out there with me yesterday. I don't mind the friendly debate, but once you want to start calling names and trying to debate on my sports knowledge, you done already lost. So don't do it. But overall, for the offense, the Redskins should have the advantage. The Redskins should be able to dictate the pace to the Giants defense because that's the consistent part of their team right now. If they can wear them down because they're all about speed, they're not about power. If they can wear them down and run the ball and get them tired in the second half, there's no reason the Redskins offense shouldn't get some consistency and be able to put up some points against the Giants defense later in the game. Getting to the defense, I'm not going to break it down position by position since we are going a little long on this preview. But overall, I give the Redskins the advantage on defense. They've been turning the ball over. They've been getting teams off the field for the most part. Third down conversions are key. When they're playing well, they're getting teams off the field. When they're making mistakes and blown coverages, that's when they're on the field too long and giving up long third downs, and their third down percentage, goes through the roof. But the Giants also have a good defense when they have a lead. If they have a lead, then they can dictate the pace. They can rush the quarterback, which is their specialty. They just traded Eli Apple, one of their first-round pick defensive backs that hasn't really panned out in New York. They also traded, I believe, a defensive lineman. So they're kind of in the sale mode. So no telling how the team is going to come out with a point to prove, knowing that they pretty much season is done at 1-6 already. But their defense is opportunistic. They can make plays. As long as Alex doesn't be careless with the ball, I believe he won't turn the ball over. He only has 2 interceptions, I believe, 3 fumbles, and 1 of them was lost. So he's taking pretty good care of the ball. The defense is getting turnovers. But I feel the Redskins have the advantage in the defense. What about you, Paul?
I agree. The Redskins have the number 2 ranked rush defense in the league, so that kind of is a good thing, especially with the Giants depend on Saquon Barkley so much. And also the Redskins passing defense is still it's pretty high ranked too, man. They're ranked number 6, so they're pretty good on both sides of passing defense and rush defense. The thing is, I hope that this is one of those games where they kind of establish a running game, because the Giants can be shredded on the ground. We know Jay doesn't like to do a lot of under center. He likes to do a lot of spread or a lot of single back type things. So you don't really get as many opportunities to play action, especially. And Jay doesn't really string together runs very often to put the pressure on you up front. So I would hope to see, after all of these years, which I really have no reason to believe it would suddenly change, but I would hope to see him try to exercise that running game and establish it, and try to sneak some play action in there to get some plays downfield to kind of help guys like Richardson and Crowder, if they do play, kind of help them out with their playmaking and their speed. But I say that to say I'm giving the edge to the Redskins too. They have one of the top defenses in the league outside of the game against, I want to say, Indianapolis, and the game against New Orleans. They held pretty firm. So I got to give the edge to the Skins.
All right. And special teams, get to them, wrap it up real quick. Redskins special teams, I mentioned on the show Monday night. In case you missed Sports on the Hill podcast on Monday night, make sure you tune in every Monday night from 7 to 9. We're talking everything DC sports: Redskins, Nationals, Capitals, Wizards, DC Divas, Washington Valor, DC United on the playoff run. We broke down some soccer last week. So I mentioned how the special teams haven't been making any mistakes, and folks, never really mention special teams until they screw up, but never give them credit when they're doing good things. And they've definitely been playing some good ball on their side. Excuse me, they've been solid tackling. Haven't really gave up any long returns. Haven't really made any mistakes. Haven't gotten any long returns, but Redskins history with punt returns, kick returns. It's like since Brian Mitchell retired, it's like a hit or miss thing. And Dustin Hopkins, no matter how much people call for his head, he's still a pretty damn good kicker. He kicks the ball out the end zone on the kickoffs, which previous kickers couldn't do. And I believe he's only missed 2 field goals this season, and one of them was like a 58-yarder. So he's doing pretty good. I got to give the edge to the Redskins special teams. The Giants special teams haven't really made any mistakes or done anything bad, but they're 1-6. That record, bad things tend to happen. So I have more confidence in the Redskins special teams continue doing what they're doing than I have in the Giants special teams. I'm even going to jump out there, and if Jamison Crowder plays and he gets back punt return duties, I'm going to predict he's going to return a punt. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm just going to predict it. What do you say about the special teams, Paul?
Hey, that'd be awesome, man. I hope it happens. One thing that I miss about the Redskins, we grew up in the old days with Brian Mitchell, and it's even after we always used to have dynamic, special teams, kick returners, punt returners. I even remember one year when they brought in Eric Metcalf, and he was returning punts and scoring. So it'd be nice to see Crowder take one to the house, man. We definitely would love to see that happen. They seem like they're so few and far between now with this team, but I think the Skins have improved on special teams a lot over the last few years. I don't know if you remember when, I hate to say this because I'm a T.C. Williams Titan, and my brother played football with Keith Burns back in the day. But Keith Burns was a special team coordinator a few years ago, and it was in shambles, man. So I'm glad to see they're playing a lot more solid and a lot more consistently now. And so I'm gonna give the edge on special teams to the Redskins again. But I will say, Giant Stadium is known back in the day with the Meadowlands, and even now with a lot of swirling winds and field goals have not exactly been easy. So they damn sure got to make sure that they can not waste opportunities. They got to score in that red zone. They can't put the game in the kicker's hands and make them settle for 45-yard field goals. So that's pretty hard to come by in Giant Stadium, as history has shown. But I'm still giving that edge to the Redskins on special teams.
Well, scoring touchdowns is always going to be in one of my key to victory videos that I put out every week for the Redskins game. We ask for it, we get it in the first half, but unfortunately we don't get it in the second half. So that's my key to victory this week, is also play 4 quarters, because definitely with a division game, you saw how the Cowboys game went down to the wire last week with those missed opportunities in the red zone. So we definitely got to get touchdowns instead of field goals. But overall, even though there's a trap game and the Giants play the Redskins well and always play them well, I'm going to give the edge to the Redskins. I'm going to say the Redskins are going to win. I'm not going to predict the score. Excuse me, I'm drinking an adult beverage, so pardon me. But Robbie already said that I put this down as a loss for the season, as we all did, because we all know how the Redskins play against the Giants in New Jersey. But I'm going to go and flip and say the Redskins are going to win this game and go 5-2. I mean, 4-2. 4-2. I done lost track of my own daggone team trying to read these comments and beat the Giants. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, even though I had this schedule as a loss on First House Football Pick'em League for the Redskins, I'm going to say on Sports on the Hill podcast that the Skins is going to come away with victory. I would say the key to the game for me is, a few years ago you wouldn't say this, judging by Super Bowls against the New England Patriots, but I think the Redskins game plan sounds obvious. They got to make Eli beat them. I know that, back in the day you would think, nah, man, Eli, he always looks up and throws one of those, just get lucky or he's real streaky. But now at this point in Eli's career, you can force him to make those, bad throws that historically he used to make, that he seems to be making again a lot more frequently. You got to make Eli beat you. If you can, kind of shut down or kind of limit their scoring, especially limit Barkley. Bend don't break. I hate that phrase, but when you dealing with a guy like Barkley, that's kind of the philosophy you got to take, and just try to make Eli beat you. And I think if they can do that, they can win. I mean, it really ain't so much a wide receiver quarterback can do together. That's all you got to be. Outside of T.O. with 22 receptions that one game. But I think the Skins going to win. If they can make Eli beat him and hold that running game in check with the Giants like they've been doing fairly well this season, I think they can come away with a victory.
Yes, sir. All right, get a couple of comments in before we finish up this Redskins talk. Mark Moore, what's going on, Mark? Appreciate you tuning in as always. It says more wins, more confidence. Agree. I say the same thing. You got to learn how to win. The more you win, the more the team, gains confidence, and the further they can go. He said we should get some sacks on Eli for sure. Yeah, I'm hoping Kerrigan has a 2-sack game, and he can get a pick six. He already got 2 on Eli. Maybe he can make it 3 with a retirement-ready Eli out there. Mark said the defense should prevail. Yes, indeed. I agree. Mark, appreciate it. Says we are awesome. I mean, we just talking sports that we love, Mark. We tired of these so-called DC sports journalists with their opinions and all of their anonymous crap. We ain't got time for that. We love our sports. We want to talk about the ins and outs and the insight, the knowledge. We want to talk about the game. That's what we're here for. So I appreciate you chiming in. Said they don't have a 2-headed monster anymore. Yeah, but Barkley is dynamic. You can call the right defense and have everything scouted out, and that dude can do a cutback and a spin and leave everybody in the dust. So they definitely got to respect him and definitely got to key in on him. And like Paul said, make Eli beat us and don't let Barkley beat us, because he can do it. That dude is like a one-man gang out there. They call Tyreek Hill the human joystick. They got to come up with a name for Barkley because he's on that level also. Let's see, my man Eric, what's going on, Eric? I ain't seen you in a while. You got quiet after Alex led the Redskins to a victory over the Cowboys. You ain't want to throw him under the bus no more. He said, how the hell did Curry drop 51 3/4 on the Wizards? Hey, I just found. All right, I was going to turn the game on because I watch the Warriors. I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I like the Warriors. And I was going to check the game out. The Wizards had the overtime victory over Portland, who I put the video out in overtime in the game before. But I was scrolling on Facebook. I saw the halftime score. I think the Wizards were down by like 18. I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time. Then I found out that Curry put 51 on him, and I was kind of mad because I wish I'd have seen him, because that dude, I love watching him play. I remember watching his daddy play down in Charlotte back in the day, Dale Curry. And I love watching him play because that dude just pull a 3 from anywhere. He'd take a step over half court, pull it, turn around, and go the other way. And that joint just like, and you just can't do nothing. It's like, dang. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about that Monday night with the Wizards coverage and ask our NBA panel how did Curry drop 51 on the Wizards. He even got a little basketball in there.
Did you hear what KD said, though? Can I even interrupt? Did you hear the Kevin Durant story about that game?
Nah, what happened?
Oh, they said after he dunked on somebody, I can't remember who, that he went back to the bench and told his coach, "Take me out, man. These dudes soft."
Oh, dang.
So Kevin Durant said, "Sub somebody else in, man. I won't play with these dudes. They too soft."
Wow.
I mean, damn, Washington. Didn't he bring in Dwayne Howard?
I believe he's still out injured. His back, he didn't even make the road trip, I believe. So we talked about that, and that was one of the questions I had for the panel. I applaud them going out and getting the so-called big man, but then you get one of the softest big man in the league. I'd rather they went for a strong push for DeMarcus Cousins and even offered up Bradley Beal in the deal instead of bringing in Howard. But if he gets healthy, if he can contribute, then it's an addition, it's a plus for the team because they need some type of inside presence. And Wall could gain some type of chemistry with him. They might be able to do a little something. He loves the alley-oop, so see if they can get some chemistry going, get some fast breaks, get the up-tempo, and get the Wizards team, going in the right direction. I believe they're 1-3 now after that loss to Golden State. So with LeBron going to the West, the East should be easy for the Wizards to get into the playoffs. And unfortunately, Edmonton just scored on the power play against the Capitals with 3:32 left in the first. It's 1-0. I didn't see the penalty, but it was definitely a power play goal. And the Caps are down 1-0 with 3:32 on the road in Edmonton. Let's get back to the comments so we can get to this boxing talk. You know, Norman football than I expected, Paul. Let's see, Rodney, what's going on, man?
We got a lot to talk about.
True. Rodney, how you doing, man? Appreciate you checking us out. The mental aspect to exploit your opponent's weakness, like Bill Belichick. Yeah, no doubt. Love you too, man. Appreciate you checking us out. Always talking skins, talking DC sports. Yeah, I know how I feel about Belichick. You know, first before I started coaching the coach defense, I couldn't stand Belichick until I started coaching and I understood why he is the way he is and why he does the things he does, and you can't never go against the hoodie and Brady. I say that all the time, even on Sundays when I'm tweeting out, even if they're down by 21. You remember the Super Bowl game against the Falcons. And he can do that on the biggest stage in front of everybody in the world for the biggest prize in football. You don't think he can handle a regular season game, be down by 21 at halftime? Come on, man. Let's see. He said Rodney said Curry is the greatest shooter of basketball we have seen in history at 90 plus. I can't really attest to that. I'm not a big NBA fan, but tune in Monday night. You can put that question to the panel, put that comment to the panel, and see what they have to say. I know a little basketball, but nah, I'm not even going to get into that debate because I know I could be dead wrong. What's up, Eric? Said, oh, you ain't get quiet, you got drunk. Yeah, I can believe that. We always did enjoy having those adult beverages after a good victory. Let's see what else. He said he loved the Golden State Warriors, picked the poison. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we get into more basketball talk than I expected. See what you started, Paul? Let's see. Yeah, Mark says the Pats know how to win, definitely. John said he got the same blanket. Hey, man, it's Redskin love over here, man. That's what we do over here. But we didn't win way longer than I expected on Redskins Talk. I appreciate everybody tuning in, questions, comments. Appreciate it. We about to get into some boxing talk. I know Paul, he probably tired with his army that he got down there in North Carolina taking care of, trying to get the kids to school and everything. But let's go ahead and get into some of this boxing talk, some of the goings ons of the last 2 weeks and preview some of the upcoming bouts. Go ahead, take it away, Paul. I'll let you go ahead and lead the show going into boxing talk.
Yes, sir. It was a surprisingly active last week, man. A lot of championship fights, not exactly, A-listers, that the casual fan may not pay much attention to, but definitely some good fights that are setting up intrigue and potential possibilities later on down the road. But before I talk about the fights, I wanted to just kind of speak about Canelo Alvarez real quick about the news with him. Man, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to how HBO has pulled out of the boxing game with the with HBO pay-per-view and showing fights on HBO. They've been doing it for 40 years, but they pulled out. Canelo Alvarez is one of the fighters that had a contract with HBO. Well, a new streaming service called DAZN, that's where Eddie Hearn shows a lot of his fighters on, like guys like Joshua. They swooped in and signed Canelo Alvarez to a 5-year, 11-fight deal worth at least $365 million, which makes him the highest paid athlete of all time, even more than John Carlos Stanton got with the Marlins a couple years ago. So that's the biggest sports contract in history with the potential to make more. But Canelo Alvarez, man, doing big things. Apparently he learned a lot more from Floyd outside of just knowing how to flip the counterpunch. But the other news for Canelo is he surprised everyone with his next fight. Everyone assumed he would go for the rematch with Triple G. That kind of got thrown out when Triple G said he didn't want to fight again until next year. So everyone assumed Canelo would may fight one of the Charlo brothers. But he's actually stepping up super middleweight to fight a guy named Rocky Fielding. No one saw that coming. Canelo's 5'9". Canelo has come all the way up from, I want to say, lightweight. I may be wrong, but he's jumped a lot of weight classes. Rocky Fielding is a natural super middleweight light heavyweight. He started as a light heavyweight, so think about that. Canelo Alvarez is fighting a guy that started off in the same weight class that Roy Jones finished off in. I looked at these guys standing face to face. There's a drastic size difference. Rocky Fielding right now, I think he is the WBA super middleweight champ. I may be mistaken. But it's surprising, that Canelo would make that move because Rocky Fielding is 6'1". Canelo is all of 5'9", but ultimately, when you're good, and that won't matter. So I think Canelo's going to take that fight, and probably in knockout fashion, because Rocky Fielding is not special. He had one loss to Callum Smith, but he got rocked. So I'm thinking Canelo's going to win that. And real quick, I had some breaking news right before the show. I spoke about Canelo jumping up to fight a guy at 6'1", and I said if you're good, size doesn't matter as much. Well, there's talk about now Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence are getting close to signing a contract to fight each other early next year. And we know Mikey Garcia is, coming up from featherweight, super featherweight, went up to 140. Now he's moving up to welterweight, 147. He's, to fight Errol Spence, a guy who's much bigger, much stronger than anyone that Mikey Garcia has been in the ring against. But it's another situation where if you're good, and that size difference can be negated. Ultimately, if that fight does happen, I'm still going with Spence. I think Spence is getting ready to finish 2019 as the best pound-for-pound fighter, depending on who his opponents are for next year. He's been trying to get Terrence Crawford. But, Terrence Crawford's been trying to get Spence. But Al Heyman isn't really letting that happen. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, that's a potential blockbuster fight next year. But as for the action that just passed, we had some entertaining fights, man. Good names, Kevin Farmer. A lot of guys may not know much about Kevin Farmer. He just now got his championship belt a couple fights ago. He's been working hard. He's been grinding for a while. He had 4 losses early in his career. He actually had one. He lost his pro debut, and he lost his 4th fight. And he also lost to Jose Pedraza, a guy who was getting ready to fight Vasil Lomachenko in December for a title. So, he's been in the ring with some great fighters. He had a couple raw deals, bad decisions, no contest because the guy he fought against was on steroids or something like that. But he fought James Tennyson and defended his IBF super featherweight title, and he knocked him out in round 5. Kevin Farmer is not known for being a powerful puncher. He's a smaller guy. He's a good Philly boxer, meaning he has a good chin. He has excellent defense, probably one of the top 3 or 4, boxing defenders active right now. Because he only has, I want to say 6 knockouts and 21 victories. So, that's not a lot of knockouts. So, I'm sorry, 27 wins and only has 6 knockouts. But Kevin Farmer knocked out James Tennyson with a crushing left hook to the body. He's been wearing that man's body out all fight. He made that a plan, to destroy his body. Tennyson is a little longer, a little taller, but he keeps his elbows high. And I saw something from Farmer that, you don't see often, where he got a knockout off of a counter punch to the body. That takes a skill, and that says a lot about how good Kevin Farmer's defense and boxing IQ is, because, he got Tennyson in close. Tennyson was leaning in to throw a left uppercut. When he did that, he lifted up his right elbow. He exposed his abdomen, and this was only about 20 seconds after he almost went down to a left hook to that same area. And then, once Farmer saw that, he saw red, threw that hook to the body again, sent him right to the canvas, ref stopped the fight. Kevin Farmer came away with a knockout victory in, I'd say spectacular fashion. So that, he retained his IBF title. He's been trying to get a fight with Gervonta Davis. Trying, but it's not going to happen because Floyd and on the team seems to not be interested in having a fight. Davis fought once this year. He's 23. He's a champion. He fought once this year. He was supposed to fight in December. I think that fell through. Eddie Hearn, who also managed Joshua, managed Kevin Farmer, he revealed that he's been trying to get a fight with Gervonta Davis, but Floyd Mayweather and the money team and Mayweather Promotions have been saying no. So I don't really know what the plan is for Gervonta Davis, but the next big fight with Kevin Farmer would ideally be against Gervonta Davis. I don't think him and Lomachenko are going after each other because they're kind of good friends. But that hasn't stopped boxing before, so. But Carol, we got to touch on the elephant in the room with your guy, my guy, Terrence Crawford. I don't know if you got to see that fight on ESPN the other day. Did you get to see that one?
I got to see some of it. Let me get a quick scoring update. Almost scoring update in the Houston-Miami game. Brock Osweiler was being sacked looked like as he was throwing the ball. So in my opinion, it's an incomplete pass, but they ruled it a fumble on the field, and the Texans ran it in for recovered the fumble and ran it in for a touchdown. It's still pending. 20-10 scoring review, and the refs coming out now from the review, and the results of the play are incomplete pass, no touchdown. Still Miami ball with 24 seconds left before half. They're down, what is it, 13 and 14 to 10. They kicked the field goal not too long ago. 3rd and 10. Miami has the ball, I believe, on their 35, looking to try to make something happen with 32 seconds left in the first half. And getting back to the Crawford fight. And before we get to that, also the Cowboys game is into the first intermission, down at Edmonton 1-0, going into the second. They just went off ice about maybe 5 minutes ago, so both games about to be at intermission while we're talking boxing. I got, the funny thing about the Crawford fight, Paul, I had everything set up, at TVs on, ready, waiting for the fight. And I fell asleep during the fight, and I woke up right at the end when Crawford put him down. And I missed everything else in between. So break down that Crawford fight. I definitely missed it. I haven't got a chance to really check it out on ESPN or try to find it to look at.
Hey, you woke up at the right time. Crawford, I don't know what the bad blood was between these two, Jose Benavidez and Crawford, but those dudes, they obviously didn't like each other in the, pre-fight festivities. A lot of times that stuff is the show, but this was different when, Crawford threw a one-hitter quitter at Benavidez in the face-off, and if it would have landed, I don't think that fight would have happened, because he would have broke his jaw probably and got suspended. But he took on Jose Benavidez and won by knockout in round 12 with only about 20 seconds left. Jose Benavidez is no slouch. He was ranked as, one of the top young fighters coming out. He's a Freddie Roach fighter. He was seen as one of the best prospects in boxing, and his record showed him. He's a damn good fighter. He had no losses coming in. He had a bad knee, though, because he got shot in his knee. This is strange, because Terrence Crawford got shot in his hand. Terrence Crawford got shot in his head once, and this guy got shot in his knee, so they both survived some pretty bad injuries to get to the top or near the top of their profession. Terrence Crawford defended his WBO welterweight title. He succeeded. He won by TKO. It wasn't close, but Crawford would have won by unanimous decision had it went to the cards. But the thing, there's an issue that I do have with Crawford at times, crazy as he is. Me and EJ talk a lot about if Crawford and Spence fought. I always felt that Spence is the better fighter, even though he may not be as versatile as Crawford, but the ability to switch and even switch from counterpunching to aggressive style. Crawford sometimes takes too many risks. I'm not saying risks like he's trying to force a knockout. I mean, sometimes he gets a little careless on defense. I think he gets a little undisciplined at times in the ring. And fighting at welterweight now, that can have consequences when he starts to fight the real top guys. I mean, he already won a title, but I'm gonna go back to even the Jeff Warren fight. He won that by TKO, but the thing is, these are bigger fighters. He's not knocking them out as early as he used to. That's not a fight against Crawford. That's how it is. You fight bigger guys. It's only your second fight in welterweight. But I think that he just gets a little too careless sometimes. He sometimes tries to get a little too fancy. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing all the time, but it's unnecessary. Like, you don't always need to switch stances so much. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to do that. And, don't get suckered into a fight that's not your fight just to prove a point. And if Benavidez was a better fighter, I'm not going to say better, I'm going to say more experienced fighter, he may could have taken advantage of some of Terrence Crawford's carelessness. And I'm not saying he was blatant, he was terribly careless. Now, don't get me wrong, he still fought an exceptional fight and scored that knockdown with that devastating uppercut in the 12th round and finished off the TKO. But, as he moves up and walks away and starts to fight guys, I don't know if he's going to fight the winner of Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence next year. I would assume that Crawford would have another fight, maybe by the end of this year or early next year before then. But if he's fighting guys like Sean Porter or Keith Thurman, whoever wins their bout, if they meet again, or Danny Garcia, you can't get careless, especially against those dudes, man. I don't think Crawford would lose against Danny Garcia. But the problem is when you fight guys like Porter and Thurman, it becomes take it, and Porter comes forward, doesn't, he doesn't give you much room. So Crawford's a smaller guy, so I think that Crawford needs to kind of refine some of his technique just a little bit. It's not a flaw in his technique. I just think it's a flaw in his focus at times when he gets in that ring, because you're fighting against the big boys now, man, and you can't be careless. So it was a great fight, though, Carol. You didn't miss much. I mean, it was just another beat down by Crawford, and which ended in a embarrassing knockout for his opponent after all that messy talk. So, I'm hoping to see Crawford get at least maybe one more fight, probably maybe in December or January, to keep him kind of busy, and then maybe 2019. I see some big fights ahead for Crawford in 2019, like big time, the way everything's being set up.
Yeah, I got to counter that critique on Crawford, because you and I both know one of our favorite fighters, Roy Jones, would do the same thing every fight. He would take unnecessary risks, but because he knew he had so much edge on the athletic end, and he had that knockout power, he knew he could get away with it. And Crawford is kind of the same way, because nobody has, in my opinion, I know I haven't seen all of his fights, but I haven't seen anyone that's got him close to, putting him on the canvas or even really giving him some go. So he has that confidence that, he's not as flamboyant and blatant as how Roy was back in the day, but he takes chances because he knows he's 9 out of 10 better than the person across from him, which, like you said, you got to respect the big boys he's going to be going up against soon. But against the competition that he's dismantled on his way to this rise, I mean, he can do that because he's been dominant and better than all of them, and he knows that.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, how risk, how rewarded. If you got it, you got it. Roy Jones definitely. I mean, look, I'm gonna say one of my favorite Roy Jones highlights when he had his hands behind his back. Homeboy knew it, ducked down, and then Roy Jones threw the longest development punch in history, a right hook for a right-handed fighter from behind his back, and still knocked him down.
And knocked him down.
Homeboy got up because he was just too embarrassed to get up.
I remember that. I was watching. I couldn't believe I saw that. I was like, man, Roy, go ahead, man. Stop playing. Next thing you know, rapid right hook, dude on the canvas. I'm like, see, you're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Not supposed to. Speaking of Roy Jones, Carol, I'm working on something, man. November 17th, some fight that down in Charlotte. One of the guys that I talk to sometimes that's on the card, Mike Williams Jr. I talked about him before. He's trained with Roy Jones, but Roy Jones is going to be in the house.
What?
November 17th down here in Charlotte. So I'm out there to get down there with him.
Bruh, that's 2 days after my birthday, man. You about to make me plan a road trip to Charlotte, man. Things messed up, but you about to make me have to take a road trip down there to see if I can meet Roy and catch up with you and watch some boxing. See, yeah, we got to talk offline on that, Paul.
Yeah, I just found out that he was coming in the building, and I'm like, oh, that's big. So, yeah, that's November 17th. So, we definitely got to talk about that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that can't miss right there.
Damn. Oh, I'm glad you said so. We definitely going to talk about that. That's my birthday, the 15th, the 17th in Charlotte. I might got to make some phone, but I think I still got some folks down there in North Kakalaki in the Charlotte area. I might got to reach out and see if we can make something happen, Paul.
Hey, you got to, Carol. I know Roy Jones, and you do. And I can't believe I almost forgot to let you know. When you brought up Roy Jones, I was like, oh, wait till Carol hears it.
Oh man, that's definitely an opportunity that I might have to take advantage of, especially with him. And like you mentioned, his promotion that he does. He's bringing up fighters and he's doing his announcement on the side. Doing a pretty good job. And I love to, even be in the same arena. I never got a chance to see any of his fights live. But I love to be in the same arena, maybe get a picture or at least chop it up with him and just see what the dude like in real life. But yeah, we definitely talk about that. I know you mentioned there was a couple of fights coming up that you wanted to preview.
Oh, yes, indeed. Well, I forgot to speak about real quick. Anthony Yard, he upcoming light heavyweight fighter out of England. He won his fight, 17th pro fight, undefeated still. He's still fighting against, developmental guys, but he's going to be a name in the light heavyweight division probably in the next couple of years. And so that's Anthony Yard, solid fighter, kind of short for light heavyweight. 6 feet tall. I'll say about average, but got a lot of muscle, got some good skill, has a couple of things he needs to work out on defense. I think he utilized the shoulder roll in an unnatural way, and it's not for everybody. I don't think it's going to work for him. But Anthony Yard, man, hopefully he can get his name in that winner of Tony Bellew versus Usyk fight coming up in December. So we'll see. But the other fight coming up, I want to say, what is this coming up on October 23rd? We got Danny Jacobs back in action, fighting against, and I'm going to try to say it. Try. I'm going to try. You know, he is fighting against Sergey Derevyanchenko. I think I got it.
Yeah,
Paul.
Paul.
I was reading the alphabet.
I wasn't even gonna try it, bro. After I typed it in the video, I said I wasn't gonna try to pronounce it.
It felt like I was reading the alphabet. I think I got it. I think. But he's taking on Sergey. I'm gonna leave it at that. On October 27th for the vacant middleweight title. Danny Jacobs back in action, man. He's a damn good fighter, super middleweight. You know, he's actually fighting for the middleweight title right now, which is, you know, funny. He's going back and forth between middleweight and super middleweight. So Canelo makes the jump to super middleweight while Danny Jacobs goes back down to middleweight. He only had 2 losses. One of those losses was to Golovkin, which I think, you know, Danny Jacobs outboxed Golovkin. If it wasn't for that first early round knockdown that Triple G hit Jacobs with, Triple G would have had his first loss against Jacobs. So, you know, that's coming up on October 27th. It's going to be a pretty good fight. I'm picking Danny Jacobs to win that fight. I'm actually taking Danny Jacobs to win that fight by knockout. So that's on the 27th of October. Don't miss it. I can't tell you what channel it's on now because of all the changes in contract deals, and it's kind of hard to find out now. But that's going to be a pretty good fight. You got Tony Bellew versus Alexander Usyk. He's the guy who beat I can't remember who was he beat. I'm drawing a blank here, Carol. I'm drawing a blank. But Usyk is a good damn fighter. Tony Bellew taking on him. I can't believe I forgot who he beat. I confused him with the guy who beat Kovalev recently. But that's coming up in November. So November's going to be a fairly decent month. But outside of the Jacobs fight, there's not really any big name guys fighting. You got Huey Fury, which is Tyson Fury's cousin, from fighting Kubrat Pulev on October 27th. Pulev's a good fighter. He was supposed to fight Joshua the other year, but he had suffered an injury. Huey Fury fought for a title once. You know, so he's up there, and maybe if Wilder seemingly avoids Joshua again next April, or if you know, whoever wins the Fury Wilder fight, if they don't fight Joshua next April, they're looking at the winner of this Pulev versus Fury fight as a potential opponent for Joshua next April, or a rematch with Dillian White. Depends on who he ends up fighting in December, because you know, that fight got changed. He was supposed to be fighting against Luis Ortiz, and that got changed. I think he's supposed to be fighting against another guy that just recently pulled out. So those are the 2 fights that's coming up between now and between now and November. So it's not really a lot going on in the next couple weeks outside of the Danny Jacobs fight on the 27th. So I recommend that fight. Danny Jacobs, good skill fighter, hard nose, you know, has all the tools. You know, it's going to be a pretty good fight. I'm calling Jacobs by knockout.
All right, Paul, you've been right majority of the time, so I'm not going to go against you. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that. The Caps just dropped the puck for the second period. They're still down 1-0. Edmonton on a 3-on-2 break. Shot at Hopi, deflects it. Good save. Caps on the move the other way. The Houston-Miami game is still at halftime. And before we get out of here, Paul, I guess I forgot to tell you this. It happened about a month ago. I told you I work in Lowe's in Clinton in Maryland. A lot of folks know I sell HVAC or whatever during the day. And tell me why, because I've been doing this show with you, now I know certain DC boxers. And you mentioned Gary Russell Jr. or Gary Russell over and over again. This man comes into my store. I see him walk by with his daughter, and I see him, and I look, and I'm like, is that him? And then I'm like, nah, that can't be him. And somebody else come over that works in the store. They're like, you know who that was, right? I was like, Gary Russell Jr., right? Like, yeah. It's like, he be here all the time. I was like, for real? I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I get in my card when he walked by. And I was trying to get a sale, and I had a dilemma, Paul. Make money or make a connection with a professional champion boxer. And I have to say, I sold out in the American way, and I went capitalist. I had to close that sale, Paul, and I missed the opportunity to introduce myself to him. And he hasn't been back in the store since. So next time I see him, I'm making sure I introduce myself and see if we can work something out and see if we can maybe get him on this show. Because I've met a couple of people that are in his circle, but I've never met him, and I never had the opportunity to, have a one-on-one conversation. So I'm working on that. But I forgot to tell you that story happened about a month ago that I had to choose the paycheck over a connection for that one time. It won't happen again, Paul, I swear.
Hey, that is a dilemma, man. We all know, man, that paycheck, you got to get it, And I know you was probably thinking about how can I, maybe, find a way to walk away for a split second and pretend like, oh, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me walk away, so... hopefully he'll be back in. What they say he come in frequently, so hopefully he'll be back in with you in there. And I, like you said, I know you're not gonna let him get out of there twice.
No sir. Because I didn't realize, not to slight him, but he's a small dude. I never really I saw some of the fights, but the way he looks on TV and the way he be beating down people, he's like a smaller dude, but them hands is deadly though.
Yeah, he's a super featherweight, man. Those are the little guys, like 130, 135.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I had no idea.
You know, do in person. I remember back in the day, running into, back in the day, Mark Too Sharp and all those dudes. You would see some of the guys, you expect them to be a little bigger, a little taller in person, but then you realize, oh, they all only 140, 147,
yeah.
130.
No doubt. Yeah, but definitely I'm gonna try to get that closed in next time we come in there. I'm not gonna drop that opportunity. I'm making sure I get it. But it's a little bit after 10. We got the Capitals game going on, like we got here the Houston Miami game about to kick off for the second half, and I'm a little hungry. So you know what? It's about that time to get ready to get off the air. Paul, let the folks know where they can find you and let you know what you got going on True Radio or whatever else you got popping off.
Yes, indeed. Fearless_HQ. On Instagram, it's back up going, still posting on there videos, the links and updates on, results. True Radio Network. You can find me, obviously, on Sports on the Hill podcast, Boxing MMA edition on Thursday, every other Thursday, or True Talk. I'm not on there as much as I used to be because now you brought up my Army early on. Apparently, both walking now.
Oh, boy.
Opened up a whole new realm of possibilities. Boy. Still tune in on Tuesdays, man. 8 p.m. Eastern Time on True Radio Network.
All right. If you don't know, Paul has how old is Renzo now? He's about what, a year and a half?
He turned 2 in September, and my youngest turns 1 on December 1st.
So y'all pray for Paul. He has 2 youngins that's running around. He also has teenagers also. So if he doesn't make some shows on Thursday night, you know why that's why I say he has the Army, and he has 2 toddlers that are now mobile and can get into stuff and touch stuff and knock stuff over. So yeah, man, good luck. Get some rest and take your vitamins, man, because you about to be busy.
Yes, indeed. Just one more quick comment, man. It's like everybody that knows me knows, hey, man, if Paul can't call you back right away, don't worry, he'll call you back. I was supposed to call GOP back twice, and I'm like, it's just hard, but it keep me young, man. I'm almost 40, and I sometimes I feel like I'm 50, but at the same time, the way I'm running around, I feel like I'm still young on some days. So they keep you young, man.
Hey, I totally understand. We got one more comment. What's up, Michael, about football? He said, nice that they fired. Yeah, I didn't even mention this. Nice that they fired the NFL ref that had that horrible non-call of false start that led to a touchdown in the game. Cruz for not throwing the flag on the Chargers game in Week 6. He said he also officiated the Redskins Saints game and messed up some calls. Good riddance. Yeah, the NFL is starting to crack down on some of these refs that's not doing their job and not consistently being at the top of their game. So it wasn't just because of that one play. As Michael alluded to, there was some other games where he missed some calls and it's affecting the game. And as I've always said on the show, I'm never going to blame a ref for a loss, but they definitely impact the game and they can determine the outcome because of calls they make or the calls they don't make. So that's definitely a good point to make, Michael. Appreciate it. But on that note, don't like to end it on somebody getting fired, but as long as I ain't getting fired, we all good. And
as long as it ain't one of us.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned Trey Quinn might be back also. Yeah, I saw that report also that he'll be coming back off the IR and he might be on the active roster soon. Appreciate that nugget too, because I definitely forgot it, Michael. Coming through at the last minute. Appreciate that. But about to get ready to get off of here. As always, you can go follow us on SportsOTHP on Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook, Sports on the Hill Podcast. You can follow me on YouTube, Carol Porter III with 3 eyes, not the number 3, for all the highlight videos, simulcast videos. Sometimes I just get on there and just give some thoughts on what's going on in the world today, what's going on in the sports world, political world, current events world. And I gotta mention, November right around the corner. I mentioned my birthday month. It's also a huge month for True Radio because we are expanding to the largest internet radio provider in the country. Listen Vision, based right here in Washington, D.C. We'll have True Radio on Listen Vision coming to you every Wednesday night, premiering November 7th at 9 p.m. talking sports, politics, fashion, music, and anything else that's going on that day. So make sure you tune in because if I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. The True Radio Network takeover is upon us, people. The movement has begun. You can love us, hate us, don't care about us. Doesn't matter because you're still going to see us. You're still going to hear us. Sooner or later, we're going to be a household name. I'm trying to tell you. Haters keep on hating. It fuels us. We love it. We want more of it. Bring it. Because we're going to keep doing what we do to make you hate and to make us great. And on that note, I'm out. Y'all have a good night. I'm in this Facebook Live feed right now. Paul, I'm going to let you get on about it.